13th episode of Tuesdays with Toby. My name is Toby Frierson, and I am very excited to be back with you all again today. I hope everyone started your spring cleaning. If you missed last week's episode, we actually talked about spring cleaning, and we did it in a few different categories. Of course, the most obvious, we talked about our homes. I wanted to make sure that you all had cleaned out those garages, cleaned out the pantry, the deep freezer, the one that's in the garage or out back. Also, just in general, thinking about closets. What do we need to be cleaning out this spring? And then I put a little bit of a different twist on it. And I asked us about two other categories that maybe we don't think about much when we think about spring cleaning. I wanted to know about your heart. I wanted to know about my own heart. And I asked us to examine if there were any areas or things that we need to be removing in this season now that winter is gone and spring is here. And then lastly, we discussed our relationships. We talked about things like our inner circle, and is there anything that we need to be cleaning up in our relationships? And so I hope that you all were able to take a lot from last week's episode. If you did not get a chance to watch it, this was your prompt to hop back 1 week and think about what you need to do in regards to spring cleaning. So I just wanted to give you all that brief recap. Today, we're gonna pivot a little bit, and we're gonna talk about a statement that I've been hearing for the last 2 weeks. It's a simple statement, but it's not really resonating with me, so I wanted to present it to all of us so we can unpack it together and give it some thought. The statement is, there's no need to apologize. But of course, before we go any further, I want to go over our family rules together. They're behind me, ready, read. During Tuesdays with Toby, we will use kind words. Do your best. Always be honest. Forgive and forget. Be happy. Count your blessings. Laugh at yourself. Stay positive and love one another. I personally have a very hard time with the statement, there's no need to apologize. Quick story for you. I had my first house guest in a year. My goodness, it was so glad to actually have people in the home. But I had my first house guest in a year, about 2 weeks ago. A childhood friend came in town with her boyfriend and got a chance to hang out all weekend. And on our last day at brunch, we brought up a topic that had hit the news where a father and a son had a very heated argument, and it became public to the media. So that argument was kind of put out into the media, and a lot of people, I heard radio personalities, just people commenting in comments, immediately jumped to the dad's defense and pretty much said, oh, there's no need to apologize. That son was out of line. He should have never released that recording. That was a private matter between the family. By the way, all those things are true. But what I kept hearing over and over again was, there's no need to apologize. There's no need to apologize. And that, for me, is where I want to put a pin in our discussion today. And I want to dig deep and figure out what people are saying when they say there's no need to apologize. I feel like if we accept the statement, there's no need to apologize, we may be risking our own peace. We may be risking our own joy. We may be risking the opportunity to just lay our heads down at night and get proper rest. We've got to figure out interpersonal relationships. We've got to figure out when to learn how to make the decision to just be the bigger person. And sometimes, yes, that might mean walk away. And not only to walk away, we've got to just realize when we have said things, done things, or gone places that we shouldn't have gone, there's always a need to apologize. In my mind, we have to apologize, particularly when someone says they were offended. In that moment, please forget whether or not you met offense in that statement or in that thing you did. But if someone raises their hand and says, ouch, Toby, that hurt, then it's up to me or it's up to you. It should be our natural response to say, oh, I'm sorry that hurt you. I apologize that hurt you. I did not mean how that came out. I think what you all hear me saying today is, what's wrong with us focusing on the person in front of us? Why is it so hard for us to make things about the other person? What is the threat in me taking care of you and you taking care of me, even if both of us are super hard to deal with? Just the whole idea that there's just no need to apologize completely baffles me. Can you all help me understand? This is a legitimate question. I want to understand what people mean when they say that statement. So drop a comment below if you have any ideas and tell me how any poor action, miss the mark moment, mistake I've made or mistake we've made doesn't warrant an apology. So as we walk away from this episode today, I want to try to convince you of why you should always apologize and do it quickly, preferably in the moment if you know you've misstepped. Because grace is a really good thing. And if we give grace, most of the times grace will come back. So if we extend it, it's going to bounce back around. The second reason why we should apologize is because we're not perfect. We are not perfect. That means we're all going to be making mistakes. And if we acknowledge that we're imperfect and we don't get it right all the time, that might make it a lot easier to apologize. That whole idea of, you know what, I know myself and I know I have a big boomy voice, or I know my tone can go a little sharp. And yes, I'm talking about myself right now. But what are those things that you know about yourself that might need to invoke an apology every now and then? The fourth thing, apologizing produces harmony. And if you've ever tried to apologize before, and if you've been fortunate enough for the person on the other end to accept your apology, there's harmony in that moment. And then lastly, as I try to convince you, apologizing can de-escalate a situation. Now, not these arbitrary I'm sorry's or whatever. We all know when it's not sincere, but a sincere apology can completely de-escalate a situation. My challenge for us today is to get to the, oh, my bad, I'm sorry, let me say that in a different way moment a lot quicker than we're getting to it. My challenge is also for us to focus on what and who is in front of us, and then to focus on that in a way in which we're valuing those people, those things, and not harming them. We have off days. 100% we have days where we're just off and we miss the mark, but we can never be so defiant and prideful to say, there's no need to apologize. They had it coming. We're not gonna do that, not on this platform. I feel like I've kind of shared my heart with you today and you know where I am on this topic, but I also feel like this is just my one perspective. And I really want to know if you all have examples to share with me where, oh yeah, Toby, there are a number of things that have happened with me in life and there's no way that I should be apologizing for that. I would like to know those things, especially if they're okay to be posted here on this platform, or if you know me personally, just pull me to the side and talk to me about this. But again, this is something that's been resonating with me for about the last 2 weeks, and I really want to get some answers here, but I also wanted to encourage you all. I mean, come on, our house rules say forgive and forget. I hope you all have enjoyed this Tuesdays with Toby today. I'm going to be back with you next week, but in the meantime, please like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. And